Hello, I'm Greg Totten, Chief Executive Officer for the California District Attorneys Association. And I'm joined today by Tim Ward, the District Attorney of Tulare County and the association's first Vice President. Tim is here in Sacramento to speak tomorrow to the 30th Annual Legislative Summit for Law Enforcement. Tim, could you tell us a little bit about that event?
Sure, Greg, but let me say, first of all, it's always a pleasure to see you and the staff here at CDA, and thank you for the good work you do. But I'm very excited that it is my honor and privilege, first of all, to thank law enforcement for what they're doing for all of our communities across the state. We can't thank them enough, the men and women that wear the uniforms out there, for what they do for us. But I'm excited to be a part of leadership of law enforcement and talk about what we envision for 2022's landscape of trying to make way and address some of the wrongs that have happened with so-called public safety. I think we need to stop the degradation of victims' voices in Sacramento, and we need to give voice to those victims and our business owners and our communities that are being impacted by crime, I think now more tremendously than ever before.
In the current popular media, we're seeing retail theft as a rampant criminal justice, community, and business problem. We're seeing smash and grab robberies. We're seeing offenders walk into stores and steal hundreds of dollars of property and then exit the store unabated. And clearly the problem is drawing tremendous public attention. What's your take on this issue?
Well, I think at the base level, the consensus is Prop 47 has been an utter and complete disaster. That's the starting point. I don't think it completely ends there. But since Prop 47, we've now added a new term in our vernacular, organized retail theft. Greg, that didn't even exist. This concept didn't exist until Prop 47 has created really the tragedy that it has. Crime should not just be factored in as a cost of doing business in the eyes of the legislature.
You know, we're seeing this explosion in retail theft with our eyes in the media and on the front pages of our newspapers, but yet the statisticians, the people that collect the data, are reporting that property crimes are actually down. To what do you attribute that kind of data difference between what we see with our eyes and what the experts tell us the numbers are?
Greg, I think what the reality is, crime isn't down. The reporting of crime is down, and people are talking about that. The real question is why is reporting down? And I think there's a number of factors to that. One, without a doubt, there's been a synergistic effect. Prop 47, Prop 57, the early release, zero cash bail, all of this has a synergistic effect to create a malaise on the criminal justice system. Because if I'm a business owner, I want this person arrested in front of my eyes and taken away. And law enforcement's had the tools to do that ripped from them. We've emboldened the criminal element to prey upon our businesses. And there are times, and we saw it very directly, very tragically in Tulare County, that when there's intervention and someone trying to do what is perceived to be law enforcement's job by some to intervene, to stop that, to report that crime, that act is received with violence. So I think there's a number of factors to it, but crime is not down.
So Proposition 47 was passed by the voters in 2014. It was characterized as the Safe Streets and Neighborhoods Act. And it promised these people are going to get treatment rather than jail. The promise of Prop 47 was more treatment, less jail. Has it lived up to that promise?
Not at all. From a financial standpoint, I think a lot of the communities and the schools, safe neighborhoods for schools, right? The schools really aren't reporting this influx of money coming from this, but the reality is exactly the opposite has happened. When Prop 47 stripped from prosecutors the discretion to recognize a first-time offender as a first-time offender, but also recognize a repeat career criminal for being a career criminal. It's removed from our arsenal the ability to hold people accountable, because there is no stick anymore. Therefore, there's no benefit or no reason to do treatment of it. Why would someone want to do an 18-month drug treatment program and when they can be out of jail?
So essentially there's no incentive
Right.
for people to go into treatment. What's happening in reality? Are we seeing more individuals benefit from treatment than prior to the passage of Proposition 47? How's that been working?
Before Prop 47, we had a very active, very robust, and very, very successful drug treatment, drug court program that was supported by every member of the Justice Partnership. I would attend those drug court graduations and see the life-changing transformation that would happen when they would, publish these before and after photos. We would have, hundreds of people graduate drug court. We would have an auditorium filled with thousands of people that are continuing to be on their path to recovery that were graduates of it. I think at one point we were, each year prior to Prop 47, we had about 1,200 people going into drug court, and immediately after the passage of Prop 47, it decreased, and it decreased, and it decreased. Take a guess at what the number is for the last couple of years in my county alone.
I have no idea.
About 200 people.
So over an 80% decline in the number of treatment enrollments.
And I thought that number to be shocking, and I didn't believe my data to be true until I started talking to some of my colleagues around the state, and they're reporting the same thing in their counties, an 80% reduction. That's the true travesty of Prop 47, not just this retail theft aspect, but a complete inability to address the drug addiction issue. It's almost neglectful what our law enforcement officers are having to deal with on the streets when they encounter people that clearly have not only drug addiction issues, but mental health challenges as well. But we need ways to address our drug addicts, our mental health challenge folks that are coming into our doors as well. And we need discretion to handle that group of people differently as needed.
So the promise of Prop 47 of more treatment, less jail, has failed.
Completely.
Failed miserably.
Because it's provided neither.
So Prop 47 needs to be fixed.
Yes.
And there are a number of proposals right now winding their way through the legislature. What do you consider the core thing that needs to be fixed?
Well, Greg, that's one of the things I'm excited about tomorrow is hearing from the law enforcement standpoint what's being talked about out there and what some of the possible resolutions are. Because my fear is someone comes forward with an idea as a fix, a quote-unquote fix, riding this wave of so-called change, but the fix is illusory. It will have no true benefit at all. And I think that's going to be a focus of me, and I think it should be of the association, to make sure that these different ideas that are talked about, because I know of a handful of different ones. I don't know all the details yet. It's kind of early on. But we need to be focused on meaningful change, and not just change that we can boast that we've done something to solve this problem. We need meaningful change. And so that's what I'm excited to hear about.
Tim, I want to thank you for being with us today. You
Thanks
know, this
for having
issue
me.
of retail theft is probably one of the leading issues that California is addressing right now.
It's an honor to be here.
Very happy you could join us. And for our viewers, this is an issue CDAA wants to deal with. We've drafted legislation that we believe, if introduced and approved in the legislature, would have a profoundly positive impact upon this problem. And we expect you'll be hearing more from us as things move forward. Thank you so much for joining us.